So here are two churches. One is absolutely doing all the right things. They're almost in burnout, actually. They're doing too much. And the other is comfortable, right? They're rich. They don't need God. They've replaced God with wealth. They're saying, you know what? Like, I don't actually need you, Jesus. And so Jesus says to them, you're neither hot nor cold. I wish you were one or the other. So because you're lukewarm, he gives them this really harsh word. And he says, I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. And you say that I'm rich. You say that I don't need a thing. But you don't realize that you need me. And he names why. You know, Ephesus had lost their love and Laodicea had outgrown their need for Jesus. Ephesus was overworked and burnt out, and Laodicea was overly comfortable. Both of these churches were showing different symptoms of the same disease. Their love had grown cold. And they all had they had all the external markers of success. They had the structure, they had the leadership. But Jesus says that they had forgotten what passionate love looks like. And isn't that exactly the danger that we face today? We can become so familiar with church and Jesus that if we're not careful and intentional, by the way, and if we're not careful, we can become so efficient at doing all of the right things and lose God at the very center. We can go to church on Sunday morning and completely forget about him throughout our week. We can become experts in the form, but lacking in the fire. There is a song years ago that came out by Hillsong where it said, I say on Sunday how much I want revival, and then on Monday I can't even find my Bible. And he said, I'm not satisfied to have the form, but not the power. I'm not satisfied. So we need to get to a point where we are not satisfied to simply be called Christians. We're not satisfied to simply do all the right things. We're not satisfied to do all of the things that we think make us Christians, but actually that we are connected to God, not in form only, but to him in spirit as well.